The greatest happiness of the greatest number is the foundation of morals and legislation. Tyranny and anarchy are never far apart. In looking over the catalogue of human actions in order to determine which of them are to be marked with the seal of disapprobation, you need but to take counsel of your own feelings. If you hate much, punish much. If you hate little, punish little. Punish as you hate. All punishment is mischief. All punishment in itself is evil. The question is not, can they reason, nor can they talk, but can they suffer? Why should the law refuse its protection to any sensitive being? England, cold, selfish, priest-ridden, lawyer-ridden, squire-ridden, soldier-ridden England. We may scatter the seeds of courtesy and kindness about us at little expense. Some of them will fall on good ground and grow up into benevolence in the minds of others, and all of them will bear fruit of happiness in the bosom whence they spring. Among the various species or modifications of liberty, of which on different occasions we have heard so much in England, I do not recollect ever seeing anything yet offered in behalf of the liberty of making one's own terms in money bargains. No man of ripe years and of sound mind, acting freely and with his eyes open, ought to be hindered from making such bargain, as he thinks fit. The request which agriculture, manufactures and commerce present to governments is modest and reasonable as that which Diogenes made to Alexander. Stand out of my sunshine. We have no need of favour. We require only a secure and open path. No power of government ought to be employed in the endeavour to establish any system or article of belief on the subject of religion. Right is the child of law. From real laws come real rights. But from imaginary laws, from laws of nature, fancied and invented by poets, rhetoricians and dealers in moral and intellectual poisons, come imaginary rights, a brood of monsters. The power of the lawyer is in the uncertainty of the law. The principle of asceticism never was, nor ever can be, consistently pursued by any living creature. Let but 1/10 part of the inhabitants of the earth pursue it consistently, and in a day's time they will have turned it into a hell. Under a government of laws, what is the motto of a good citizen? To obey punctually, to censure freely. Whenever you are about to be oppressed, you have a right to resist oppression. Whenever you conceive yourself to be oppressed, conceive yourself to have a right to make resistance and act accordingly. Parliament is a sort of gaming house. Members on the two sides of each house the players, the property of the people are the stakes played for. Insincerity in all its shapes, disingenuousness, lying, hypocrisy, fallacy, are the instruments employed by the players on both sides for obtaining advantages in the game. The building circular, an iron cage, glazed, a glass lantern about the size of Ranelagh, the prisoners in their cells occupying the circumference, the officers the centre. By blinds and other contrivances, the inspectors concealed from the observation of the prisoners, hence the sentiment of a sort of invisible omnipresence. The whole circuit reviewable with little, or if necessary, without any, change of place. morals reformed, health preserved, industry invigorated, instruction diffused, public burthens lightened, economy seated, as it were, upon a rock, the Gordian knot of the poor laws not cut but untied, all by a simple idea in architecture. When will the yoke of custom, the blind tyrant, of which all other tyrants make their slave, be shaken off? When will reason be seated on her throne? It is vain to talk of the interest of the community without understanding what is the interest of the individual. A community is merely a fictitious body. Judges of elegance and taste consider themselves as benefactors to the human race, while they are really only the interrupters of their pleasure, a sort of importunate hosts who place themselves at the table to diminish, by their pretended delicacy, the appetite of their guests. Create all the happiness you are able to create. Remove all the misery you are able to remove. Every day will allow you to add something to the pleasure of others, or to diminish something of their pains. Natural rights is simple nonsense. Nonsense upon stilts. Publicity is the very soul of justice. It is the keenest spur to exertion, and the surest of all guards against improbity. Every law is an evil, for every law is an infraction of liberty. And I repeat that government has but a choice of evils. In making this choice, what ought to be the object of the legislator? He ought to assure himself of two things. First, that in every case the incidents which he tries to prevent are really evils. And secondly, that if evils, they are greater than those which he employs to prevent them. All government is a trust. Every branch of government is a trust, and immemorially acknowledged to be so.